Welcome back. Before you can invest responsibly, one has to assess their own risk tolerance. That is, how much volatility are you willing to take on in order to reach your investment goals? Here to talk about that subject is my guest, Todd Cour in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Todd, let's begin by talking about the most important factor that would determine someone's risk tolerance.
Well, again, thanks for having me here today. I think when it comes to risk tolerance, it is an individual understanding. Really trying to understand what risks with regards to the specific goals and objectives that someone has. For example, you may have two people the exact same age, both entering retirement, but very different individual situations. So the rules of thumb that people tend to do their planning by, you can tell that that's a soapbox of mine, might be very damaging to one, might be okay for another.
So Todd, then, as one gets older or closer to retirement, how can risk tolerance change?
There are a lot of people that, without professional guidance, will follow rules of thumb. Most of those coming from the media. And I find that it's really just understanding the true risks that someone faces as they approach retirement, as they age in retirement. And with an understanding of those various risks, that in and of itself will prompt people to be open to changing what their risk tolerance is, or in other words, by understanding those various areas, they're able to determine the true risk that they're taking.
Well, finally, Todd, when we're talking about risk, I think most people always assume it's market risk. But in retirement, there are a lot of other things you have to consider. Can you talk about some of the other risk factors for people in retirement?
You're right. Most people view risk as mostly market risk. What's underestimated out there is the risk of living too long. We call that longevity risk. A lot of people are not familiar with sequence of return risk. In other words, how do various types of return affect their overall retirement goals? Inflation risk is also one that is underestimated. And a tough conversation to have with people, but very important, is overspending risk.
All right, Todd, appreciate your time. Thanks again.
Thank you.
That was Todd Cour in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, and thanks for watching Retirement News Online.